What lesson can we get from the second loss of Daniel Dubois against Usyk? Second time. Well, as I said previously, the number one problem of Daniel Dubois is his legs. He got stiff legs. Daniel Dubois got stiff legs problem and doesn't have no head movement. Third problem, he came up with a too much muscle, heavy, thick blood, couldn't breathe. And fourth issue, Daniel Dubois has a slappy jab. He's too slappy with his jab. That's the fourth problem, the fourth issue we got with Daniel Dubois. If you remember, the first loss of Daniel Dubois on that level was against Joe Joyce. And Joe Joyce is a better version of Daniel Dubois itself in terms of style of fighting, because they're coming forward, they're always coming forward, they cannot box going backward, and they don't have no head movement. So the whole boxing game is based on adrenaline spike and rushing you splurt. But they got way too much non-activity in between the splurting time. That's the main issue we got with the style that Daniel Juba was fighting. And that's the same style he was fighting against when he with Joe Joyce, and he got his first loss. So slappy jab, you know, because I think Daniel Juba is the type of guy that always used to be the big guy wherever he was. So all he had to do was just going forward sometime and rush you with like a slappy jab, not fully extended. If you check, Daniel Juba doesn't extend his jab. His arm are always like that. He can't put his arm up and his head, because normally in boxing your hands should be on your shoulder level. Why? So they're covering the when you start the punch, at the beginning of the action. If my hands over my shoulders, you don't see it, you know, you don't see it coming, because there's no pre view sign, there's no sign of me like engaging, you know. So, but Daniel Dubois hands is like that. So if my hands like that, you see me come, you see the muscle flex. So I come, you know what I mean? And number two, your head's supposed to come in your hands to protect when facing incoming punches. But if your hands is there, normally, like how you go, where you going? You know what I mean? You're gonna go. The only thing you're gonna encounter is an uppercut coming. You know, because there's no protection. So this is the problem I got with like the heavyweight. When you hear that people tell you that um, high level boxing is on lighter categories, is like, and the most skillful fighter you're gonna get, the lightweight, because they're highly way more technical. They're more focused on on the quantum of the reality of a fight. Well, let's really now um distillate what happened during this fight. I'm gonna give you the a sweet, a high level, advanced sweet science description of what happened, because I'm sure that most of you didn't see what happened from the eye of Usyk. I didn't see. Listen to what I'm saying. I said most. I didn't say that y'all wasn't good at analysis. I just say that most of you didn't see the fight from the eyes of Usyk, and that's why I did. You know why? That's why I did. Because once you get on that sweet science of boxing, like, you can read it. You can read it. Okay, so don't forget to go on Blake 5 Extreme Workout 28. Blake 5 Extreme Workout 28 on TikTok and follow me. I got ready to go combo for you, and I explain you the modern way of volume intensity boxing and playing with weight. All right, that's what I call little boxing. All right, let's talk about the thing. Let's get in it. So what Usyk did, yeah, the whole fight, he was throwing the jab. So from a lefty position, he was throwing the jab and he was going straight punches. Now, everybody gonna tell you that, yeah, he was throwing the jab. But how was he throwing the jab? Now, that's something you didn't see, yeah? I'm gonna show you how he was throwing the jab. Usyk only threw the jab when he was pivoting out of position. So adding a angle. So it will feint. Usyk will feint straight in that position with a jab. Let's say he's feinting like that. He's feinting, which already takes a lot of energy at the volume and the intensity he was doing it. So it's like that, but he's not gonna strike. The only time he was gonna fully extend the jab when he was ducking under and moving on an angle. So he would throw the jab on a pivot, you know. After getting you tired on saturating all your nervous system by fainting numerous times with a straight jab in your face and his hand covering the shoulder so you don't see the punch coming, even if it's a feint. And every time you would effectively move that punch in your face, that jab, it would get an angle. So at that level of intensity and nervous fatigue, that's what Usyk was going for. Usyk got his sweet sides. He was going for nervous fatigue by saturating the system and volume and intensity of the feint movement to get Daniel Dubois tired. Because Usyk know that Daniel Dubois got a stamina issue. Daniel Dubois is good as long as he's moving back, as long as you allow him to have extended um, resting time in between his spurts, because that's how he fight. So that's what Usyk did, straight punches. But then, if you see the end of the round that preceded the last round of the fight, Usyk started throwing circular punches. What he did at the last round, like not the last round where he knocked out Daniel Dubois, the round before the knockout, if you go look at it, this is what Usyk did. He pumped 2 times a feint of a jab. So he pumped 2 times. So now you have to think the whole time he was pumping jab and fully extending on the angle. But at the end of the of that round that preceded the knockout round, he did the same feint and came out with a round circular punches from hell coming from his left hand, a rear hand. And he landed on Daniel Dubois' temple. And you know why? You know why he did that? Because he started to notice that Daniel Dubois' hand got way too heavy, and Daniel Dubois couldn't no more defend the circular punches because it conditioned Daniel Dubois to catch straight punches in his face, but awkwardly. So nervously fatigued and intensity and physically fatigued. If you want to get the three science, if you want to know these things, don't forget to follow me on Blake 5 Extreme Workout 28. Blake 5 Extreme Workout 28 on TikTok. And don't forget to follow me here and subscribe. Okay. So, the round before the last round, that's what he did. From the 2 jab, went for a circle. Big one on the temple of Dubois. Bow. Dubois got buzzed. And then what he did, he doubled this. Double down. With another circle left. Boop. And the round ended. Why he did and why did he do that? Because he noticed that Joshua hands were too heavy. because of the previously work of conditioning Dubois to keep a certain position, trying to defend incoming straight jab that was actually coming on an angle. So this is a science. You have to be intelligent, you know what I mean, to this. Or someone got to guide you. Or someone got to guide you, someone that got the sweet science. So the last round now. The last round, Daniel Dubois comes and you see, Daniel Dubois does the ultimate mistake. Because Daniel Dubois was buzzed from them two circular punches. And as I told you, when you, especially um, melanated people, yeah, with high concentration of melanin doesn't like juice because there's too much pressure on the blood in terms of cholesterol. Because you see, if you naturally have higher testosterone, it means that your blood work could naturally be dodgy. Why? Because testosterone increase cholesterol. There's a link between those, especially in people who high melanin. So that's why I would not recommend people to use juice, especially fighters. That's not the way. You got to focus on the quantum. But that's another talk. I will explain another day. So the last round, yeah, what happened last round? So Daniel Dubois does the ultimate mistake. He was buzzed from the previous round. He came and Daniel Dubois tried to go on full mole intensity, tried to rough up Usyk. As soon as he tried to rough up Usyk, yeah. So you have to understand, Dubois is not technically like he's not defensively responsible. You know what I mean? From intrinsically, from naturally. So if you come in his buzz and he's trying to go like for full mode, it's gonna be even worse. That's gonna be even worse in terms of defense. So as soon as he does that, what does Usyk do? Land a right to his to his midsection. You know what I mean? He led a right straight to his midsection. Boof. And that was a reality check for Dubois because Dubois stopped. He stopped the attack. He stopped the strike right there. You know what I mean? And he took the B2 back home. He took the B2 back to the ground. It's like he did like Trump did. Like, yeah, you know what? I would just I forgot. I can't breathe. Yeah. This is what happened. Got confused. When he got confused, like Usyk started throwing circular punches. Because the whole thing, the whole lesson, and this is where we're gonna end. The whole lesson of this fight, the only thing we got to remember and get from this fight is Usyk conditioned the defense of Daniel Dubois by throwing straight left, straight right, straight jab from a lefty position to Daniel Dubois. He conditioned Daniel Dubois to get straight to at the end, at the moment where he decided, or he saw the sign, go circular punches to knock him out. So that was, you see, the boxing is a sweet science, and every fight there is a doctrine for every fight. So the main doctrine for that fight was this one: straight punches to finish circular. Condition your opponent. You got to parameter your opponent, and this is what I does, and this is what I do. English. You know what I mean? This is what Englishly speaking, This is what I do on my TikTok channel. That's why I show you Blicky 5 Extreme Workout 28 on TikTok. This is that's why I call the lethal boxing. Because instead of waiting for what your opponent gonna do, this is people call it defense. But we told you that fighting defense is about anticipation. So how do you anticipate? How do you anticipate when the other person in front of you is also trying to anticipate? So you got two persons trying to anticipate. So how do you what is the next level after anticipation or before anticipation is parameter. You got to be able to program the intrinsic parameter of your opponent. So as you program his intrinsic parameter, you program his way of anticipating. So you take him somewhere to in fact finish him from the back door or the back window that you secretly had in the room where you took him. If you understand that, it means that I didn't explain to you right. Because it's supposed to be complicated, but maybe I just simplify it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, comment. Peace.